there's a cost to discipleship. There's a cost to discipleship. Salvation is free. Jesus paid for it. But discipleship is costly. In fact, Luke chapter 9, verse 23, this is what the Bible says. This is what Jesus said. He said to all, if anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me. Now, I'd like us to read this verse one more time, okay? All together. Ready, get set, go. And he said to all, daily. Not once a month, not once a year. And he says, deny yourself. Take up your cross would, talks about some sort of execution there. That you pick up the cross of Christ and you die to self. And, we live in a day and age, in a society now, it's a bless me Lord society. Not very many people would tweet this verse. Not very many. When you talk about delight yourself in the Lord and He will give you the desires of your heart, that's going to get a lot of Facebook shares. When you talk about, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, not for harm or calamity, but to give you a hope in the future, that's going to get a lot of tweets, retweets rather, or that might even make it to Instagram with that nice picture in a square and, all that kind of hipster stuff. But this one, not really. Because not too many people would like to die to themselves. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, who was executed for his faith, and he fought against just the atrocities during his time. This is what he had to say in his book, Cost of Discipleship. The cross is laid on every Christian. The first Christ suffering, which every man must experience, is the call to abandon the attachments of this world. The call to abandon the attachments of this world. Now, does he mean we cannot earn money and have a house or have a car? He's not meaning that. It doesn't mean that. He's just saying attachments to it. What does that mean? So, we will continue to embrace what seems valuable if we don't understand there's something that is of greater value. Remember the pearl of great price? The guy sold everything. Everything. Let go of everything. Why? So that he can get that land with a pearl. And so, to be able to release this, there has to be an understanding that's of greater value. Jesus is of greatest value compared to anything else I have today. And so you and I, people will try to pry our fingers off of it if we don't understand that. You will do all you can to hug that thing or whatever seems to be of greatest value to you at the moment if we don't understand that. And then he continues, it is dying of the old man which is the result of his encounter with Christ. Because when you encounter Jesus Christ, things change. You read through scriptures, the Gospels. Whenever a person meets Christ, encounters Christ, radically changes his life. Zacchaeus, all these guys. And then later on he says, when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. It may be a death like that of the first disciples who had to leave home and work to follow him. Or may be the death of, like Luther, who had to leave the monastery and go out into the world. But it is the same death every time, death in Jesus Christ. The death of the old man at his call. Remember what Paul said, Galatians 2:20, I have been crucified with Christ and I no longer live. The life I live in this body, I live by faith in the Son of God who loved me and gave himself for me. Sacrifice is not a sacrifice if you know what you're trading it for. He says, when Christ calls a man, he bids him come and die. He bids him come and die. Are you ready to die to self? It's a hard one to teach. It's a hard one to even swallow. Why would the man do that? If he understands what he holds on is nothing compared to the greatest value of all, Jesus Christ.